Come on, good to see you, brother. How you doing? How you been? What else? Good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? How you been? Doing good, thanks. Let's go. Come on, AD. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Woodhouse, I'm good, thanks. Let's go. Joe, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. Free and Feather, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. How you doing? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? JP, good to see you as well. How you doing? T, good to see you as well. How you doing? Apologies, everyone. So, we'll do a gist of what we're going to talk about tonight's live show. And then we'll do the intro, disclaimer, and by that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part of the news of the live show. Hello, Miles, the CMF Comatose, good to see you. How you doing? Miles, how long do we have left to buy crypto with fiat? You still have time. I would say you still have time. Even Miles and family, Ian, good to see you. How you doing? You still have this year or next year. You still have time to buy. Price points are going to be different, but you still have time to buy. Mike, good to see you. How you doing? Good day. Ian, good to see you. How you doing? So, on tonight's live show, I'll do a gist of what we're going to talk about on tonight's live show. We'll do the intro, disclaimer, and then we go for the live show. And by that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part. So, on tonight's live show, we are going to be talking about the Ethereum ETF because it's on its second day of trading. We're going to go through some figure points of is Ethereum ETF doing well or not. So far, doing pretty well for itself. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Senator Luminous. She's coming out with a new Bitcoin reserve bill to essentially reveal at the Nashville event, the Bitcoin event that Trump is attending. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Mt. Gox, the crypto exchange that essentially went bankrupt. That was closed a very long time ago. They have so far refunded quite a lot of people. Now we have the figures of how many people were refunded and was there any essentially withdrawals from the market space. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding the decentralized finance space and how it's growing quite rapidly in terms of more institutions are coming inside the crypto space. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Thailand and how the Thailand government essentially is going to be issuing CBDCs, programmable CBDCs, the type of CBDCs where you have 6 months to spend them or they expire. We're also going to go through that on tonight's live show. We're going to be also talking about BRICS on tonight's live show as well. The BRICS control of 72% of all rare metal reserves. Apparently, the BRICS countries are essentially holding a substantial amount of precious metals, about 72% of the entire control. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Kamala Harris as well and how she's not going to be attending the Bitcoin event that's going to be essentially in the Bitcoin event in Nashville that Trump is attending, and so many other members on CEOs and directors are also attending the event. But Kamala Harris is not attending. Apparently, the whole pro-cryptocurrency thing she was going for was just fake. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Hashdex. They're going to be filing an S1 combined spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF as well, which is quite a bit of a milestone to be combining Bitcoin and Ethereum into an ETF. We're going to be talking about Avalanche on tonight's live show as well. AVAX has introduced a new feature that no other blockchain has introduced before. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding Russia. Russia has just passed a new bill to legalize Bitcoin mining and crypto payments within Russia. And we're going to be going through tonight's live show regarding China as well. China, the JD.com company, has launched its first ever stablecoins within Hong Kong. And we're going to be going through the European Union and how they're continuing their essentially blockchain adoption path. The European Union is actually increased so much in terms of more institutions coming into play and the government being quite pro-crypto as it seems. So quite a mixture of news to go from tonight's live show regarding stablecoins, regarding Bitcoin events, regarding refunds, regarding perspectives, regarding government movements, and CBDC news as well on tonight's live show. So quite a mixture of news to go through. But before we go through any of that, and the first news we are going to be covering is the spot Ethereum ETF figure points and how much Ethereum ETFs have raised so far. But before we go through any of that, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, this is the CMF live show. You can tune into this live show every single night on X Live or YouTube Live, depending on where you're watching us from right now. This live show starts 11:25 p.m. onwards, UK time, always PM, and we cover, essentially I cover news, recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, and so on, things that you should know about, that the world is shifting into a digital era. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So if you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this as a regular, let's go CMF. The live show has officially started now, but before we go through the first news, which is regarding Ethereum ETFs, let's go inside the comment section first. So let's see where we were. We were at here. Pablo, good to see you. How you doing? Woodhouse, good. Solomon, hi, Miles of CMF. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Good evening, Miles of CMF. David, good to see you as well. How you doing? I can just switch my profits to stable coins, then choose what I want to buy. Pretty much, yes, you can do that. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Bull XRP, good to see you as well. How you doing? Morning, Miles of CMF. Shelly, good to see you as well. How you doing? Morning. Miles, after this live, can you send me the article on Thailand CBDC or your data source? I will show someone who believes Thailand will never have digital money. No problem. I'll send it to you. So, brother, good to see you as well. How you doing? So, the first news to go from tonight's live show is regarding the spot Ethereum ETFs and how much they've generated so far. You forgot to share the live, I think. Who forgot to share the live? Did I not share the live? I think everyone shared the live already to the Telegram group, if I'm not mistaken. Now, also thank you so much to everybody that's liked the live and shared the live and retweeted the live right at the beginning of the live show, or liked it on YouTube as well. Thank you so much. Now, the first news, because I'm getting notifications, the first news to go from tonight's live show is regarding spot Ethereum ETFs. So spot Ethereum ETFs generate $937 million in volume in the second day of trading, which is quite high. During the second day of US markets, Ethereum ETFs traded nearly $1 billion in volume. The spot Ether has generated about $937 million collectively trading volume as of today, according to Yahoo Finance data complied by the Block Pro research. The funds traded essentially roughly $1.054 billion on Tuesday, their first day on the market. Grayscale Ethereum Trust again led with essentially about $486 million, accounting for about 52% of the total volume. BlackRock's iShare Ethereum Trust, around about $255 million, and Fidelity's Ethereum Fund fetched about $110 million. The ETFs recorded roughly about $106.7 million in net inflows on Tuesday and assessed over $10 billion in assets under management, according to Social Value data. The Grayscale Ethereum Trust experienced $484.1 million in net outflows, the only fund with outflows. Regarding Tuesday's also debut, Bloomberg Intelligence, James said that the ETF launch pretty much met his expectations. And he said that if we compare it to the standard ETF launch, it was smashing success. Spot Bitcoin ETFs witnessed around about $77.97 million in outflows on Tuesday, ending a 12-day inflow streak. Rennick Polly, the founding partner at a VC firm, Satros, noted that some early signs of rotation from spot Bitcoin ETFs into Ethereum ETFs, which he said is an indication of interest in diversification across crypto assets in ETF forms. Earlier Wednesday, Bitwise's President Teddy also noted a trading difference between the Ethereum ETFs and the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Ethereum ETFs have traded about $852 million in value today. That's so far. Bitcoin ETFs have traded around about $1.1 billion, Froso said on X. surprised that if ETFs are trading at about 75% of the notional value of BTC ETFs today, higher than expected. So apparently the Ethereum ETFs are doing better than it was expected from quite a lot of CEOs and directors, and even Bloomberg analysts, ETF specialist analysts as well. So far it's doing quite well for itself, Ethereum ETFs. It might not show, but it is doing quite well for itself. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show, because the figure points are there, but the next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Senator Luminous. She's coming out with a new bill that's going to be quite pro-crypto and quite pro, essentially, Bitcoin. So, before we go through that news, let's go to the comment section first. Yes, let's see where we were. Yes, Dennis has already shared it from both platforms. Thanks, Dennis, for doing this every day. Dennis, thank you so much for sharing it every single day as well. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Orphan, good to see you as well. How you doing? Senator Luminous, ready strategic Bitcoin reserve bill for Nashville essentially reveal report. Apparently, Senator Luminous is going to be coming out with a Bitcoin reserve bill at this whole Bitcoin conference event that Trump and everybody else is going to be attending. So according to a Fox report, Senator Cynthia Luminous of Wyoming is allegedly ready to introduce a legislation that could hurdle a profound shift in the status of Bitcoin, positioning it as a mainstream financial asset on par with traditional reserves like gold in the US. In anticipation mounts ahead of her possible announcements at the annual Bitcoin conference in Nashville, July 25th to 27th. A wave of speculation surrounds the potential impact of this initiative. Federal Reserves to hold Bitcoin as a strict reserve asset. Per the report, Senator Luminous, a staunch advocate for cryptocurrencies and a figure in the pro-crypto movement among lawmakers in the US, aims to unveil a bill that would mandate the Federal Reserve Fed to acquire and hold BTC as a strategic reserve asset. While details of the proposed legislation remains veiled in the shadows, insiders with knowledge of the bill's drafts told Fox that the bill seeks to essentially institutionalize Bitcoin within the framework of US monetary systems, similar to the role played by traditional reserve assets in stabilizing the value of the US dollar. Despite the challenges posed by skepticisms and regulatory hurdles under the current administration, Biden administration, analysts and lawmakers believe that the potential integration of Bitcoin as a reserve asset represents a significant milestone in the evolution of crypto, further signaling a shift towards broader acceptance and regulation of not only BTC, but also the entire blockchain industry. Crypto game changer. If proposed legislation is supported by President Trump, who has also received recommendations and advice on the issue, with growing speculations that the former president may also announce a similar approach, the report notes that it could serve as a watershed moment in recognizing Bitcoin's legitimacy as a financial asset, coupled with the already successful ETFs approved in January. The report further notes that supporters of the bill agree that accepting Bitcoin as a reserve asset not only supports the stability of the US dollar, but it would also underscore the Federal Reserve's commitment to embracing innovation. This would be a stark contrast to what traditional and crypto markets have experienced under President Biden's administration in recent years. For one, Sam Lehman, the director of public policy at Bitcoin mining company Riot Platforms, told Fox, classifying the world's largest cryptocurrency as a strict reserve asset would be the firing gun in the Bitcoin space run. If the United States, the wealthiest country in the world and home to the global capital, began accumulating Bitcoin on its balance sheets, other countries would have powerful incentives to do the same. It is true, once one mega corporations or one mega country does some sort of movements in financial markets, countries or companies do tend to follow its footsteps. And this is coming a perspective from Riot Platforms, the number one and most biggest and most powerful, essentially, Bitcoin mining institution in the world. It's a perspective that's coming from them. And also, they're backed by BlackRock. BlackRock owns quite a lot of their company shares, majority shares. So does Vanguard. But again, I mean, this is their recent perspective that just came out today, that not only is Trump apparently going to be announcing that Bitcoin is going to become a reserve asset for the United States, of some sort of announcement, but Senator Cynthia Luminous is also going to be introducing a bill to back that up. But again, this is an outcome, not the outcome. We would have to wait and see until 25th of July for it to come true. Now, the next news to cover on tonight's live show is regarding MTGOX, which is the crypto exchange that actually became compromised a very long time ago, and they started refunding people. Now, I've been talking about this essentially exchange for quite a while now because they're trying to get their refunds done and over with, and I'm just keeping everybody updated on how far the progress has gone so far. Well, so far, the progress is good by the looks of it. So MTGOX is going to be refunding roughly about 200,000 Bitcoin, which is quite a lot. It's going to have quite a bit of an impact on the market if people sell. By the looks of it, the new numbers are in. I have the figure points, and it looks like not selling much, which is a good sign. Now, before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Orphan, good to see you as well. How you doing? Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing, Stormy? Manny, good to see you as well. How you doing? I'm selling in the XRP. I'm selling in the XRP pump and buying the last dip. Will HMRC be told of my gains by exchanges, or am I supposed to tell them? They won't be told for the next 2 years. It's self-reporting by the looks of it for the time being, but they won't be told until the next 2 years, to be fairly honest. Now, MTGOX compensates over 17,000 creditors. What's next? The crypto exchange MTGOX has shown some encouraging signs of initiating the process of repaying the creditors after the exchange's shut down in 2014. As of July 24th, 2024, repayments in BTC Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash have been made to over 17,000 creditors. MTGOX repayment progress. In a statement released by MTGOX, the trustee has made Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash repayments to some of its creditors through designated crypto exchanges. This is essentially after a similar repayments of the on 5th of July that happened and 16th of July that happened as well this year. The trustee has therefore to date paid over 17,000 creditors so far. In the future, the repayments are made subject to a number of conditions, such as validating the accounts in the register and agreeing to the agency's reps agreements by specific exchanges. The agreements between the trustee and exchanges must be concluded, and the repayments must be refined. Creditors who have not been paid should wait for further developments. Now, what we're interested in is, are they selling? The people that are receiving their Bitcoins that they bought in 2014 that have drastic price points now, are they going to be selling the ones that just got refunded? 17,000 people got refunded, and there's quite a lot of Bitcoin that's been refunded. We're talking about billions of dollars of Bitcoin being refunded. So, Ki Young Ju, the CEO of CryptoQuant, shared his thoughts on how the market reacted to the MTGOX repayments. He pointed out that there hasn't been much of an increase in the trading volumes or outflows on Kraken despite the repayments that are happening. He stated that MTGOX retail holdings will act similarly to the other retail holdings, and even if a part of the retail holdings is sold, the current market conditions can easily handle the volume without much affecting the prices. Ju said that every time zone of the world has essentially elapsed since the repayment started, and no drastic dumping of Bitcoin has occurred. If there will be a price decrease, it could not be attributed to MTGOX selling its Bitcoins in the market since in the public domain, he stated. Even if about 10% is immediately dumped in an insignificant compared to existing demands for Bitcoin, and even if 100% were to be dumped on the market space, it would not be as significant unless it happens immediately. This is an agreement with Ju's analysis based on recent month trends. In the past 3 weeks alone, the US spot ETF saw inflows of $45,000. The market could contain a high supply if sold gradually. Bitstamp begins asset refund process as well. Bitstamp has initiated its asset refund process for MTGOX creditors today. Creditors received Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum from MTGOX trustees. Distributions of these assets to customers is scheduled to commence tomorrow, with the creditors expect to have full control within a week following their necessary security checks. However, the UK customers will not be a part of the initial distribution and can expect to receive their restored assets in the coming months. Bitstamp has committed to providing further information for UK customers in due course. Despite the progress, some creditors have expressed dissatisfaction with the process. A recent discussion on a subreddit highlighted issues where some approved creditors were linked Kraken accounts and have yet to receive their Bitcoin payments. The community suggests that Kraken should leverage its direct channel to Mt. Gox to provide general information about the delays. So far, Mt. Gox's refunds, they haven't essentially damaged the market space in any sort of a way because the data is there to prove it. And apparently, even if they do sell, it shouldn't affect the market that much due to the amount of institutions in play, which is true. But whales definitely know how to manipulate markets if they want to do, and manipulation is always there, even from institutions. But genuinely, it shouldn't really affect it, to be fairly honest, either, because the inflows are there to back it up. It should just keep it as a float, is what should happen. Now, decentralized finance is growing up, and how DeFi is becoming the new Fi, as in the new finance. As institutional interest in crypto grows, fueled by the introduction of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in the United States, investors and industry participants are debating the future of decentralized finance and its relationship to traditional finance, TradeFi. At the heart of the debate is whether or not institutional involvement in crypto is a net positive or a net negative for the space. I can tell you for a fact it's net positive, because it means more money, but towards legitimate projects. In a recent interview with Cointelegraph, James, Chief Operating Officer of custodial wallet platform Salve, he shared his thoughts on the future of finance. The executive explained that institutional involvement in crypto will be positive for the long-term growth of cryptocurrencies, which is facts, in my opinion, as well. Given an air of legitimacy to the asset class and the underlying technology in the minds of apprehensive individuals, particularly in the older demographic. He also addressed the elephant in the room, acknowledging the potential for those large institutions to take over the crypto space by controlling all or a majority of the digital asset supply, but said that such a scheme was unlikely, explaining if they did that, they would shoot themselves in the foot because most people wouldn't want to own it if institutions own the majority, which is not true, to be fairly honest. Already, a lot of people are not fully aware of this part as well, which is, everybody sees Bitcoin as the freedom token, the freedom choice, the people's coin. In reality, a lot of institutions hold quite a lot of Bitcoin, governments hold quite a lot of Bitcoin, and the 5 biggest Bitcoin mining institutions that are pretty much controlling the entire chain are all the majority shareholders of those institutions are all based in the United States. And some of them are BlackRock, Vanguard, they all own majority shares. I mean, Riot Platforms is the biggest Bitcoin mining institutions in the world, and it's based in the United States. And BlackRock and Vanguard own majority shares of it. So the ideology of, essentially institutions owning the majority of the market space is like shooting themselves in the foot and nobody will own it is a bit of a lie, because people sometimes don't know where to look for the details. Even some Bitcoin maxis don't know that essentially they're in, the entire Bitcoin network is pretty much under 5 Bitcoin mining institutions that are all based in the United States, that are all pretty much have links to Riot Platforms and has links to BlackRock and Vanguard shares. It's all on paper. So apparently either people don't know or people don't care if institutions are in play. Either way, more institutions equals to more money for legitimate crypto projects, which means if you're holding those legitimate crypto projects, you're in the money. Not financial advice in any sort of a way. Instead, it is much more likely that self-custodian options will make up the vast majority of the market, while financial institutions continue to coexist along decentralized finance, interacting with distributed protocols in what he called as new Fi or new finance. I think if institutions had like 20% of these assets and they were selling them a spot ETFs, or whatever, then 80% were in the hands of the public. It makes sense. So in his eyes, if 80% of crypto was in the public's hands and 20% of crypto was in the corporation's hands, it makes sense. Yes, it obviously makes sense. I mean, why not? It makes 0 sense. The retail section has no money and it's not coordinated either. The chances of the institutions being the good guys and holding 20% of crypto control and the retail section holding 80% of crypto control is la land talk. In reality, it's the other way around. The institutions at one point will own 80% of the majority of crypto spaces, and the retail section will probably own 20% if they're lucky enough to hold 20%. Let's just, come back to reality. Institutional inflows into digital asset investment vehicles. According to the latest CoinShares weekly inflow report dated July 22nd, 2024, digital asset investment vehicles saw $1.35 billion in inflows during the 7-day period, primarily driven by investors inside the United States. On July 23rd, 2024, spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds went live on the US stock exchange, recording over $1 billion in trading volumes within a single day, showcasing the intense institutional demand for crypto ETF products, which is all true. But yeah, in reality, the ideology of institutions playing the nice guy role and owning 20% of the crypto space and the retail owning 80% of the crypto space is la la land talk. It's the other way around. Retail own 20% if they're lucky. Institutions will own 80% eventually. Now, Thailand is the next news we're going to talk about tonight's live show. Thailand's government. A long time ago, I revealed on this live show. By a long time ago, I mean last year, and I do this live show every single night. So last year, I revealed on this live show that Thailand's government, the Thai party, wanted to get votes from the people to become elected and get into power. And one of the things that they said to get votes coming in was whoever votes for this Thai party will receive 10,000 baht. Now, baht is a currency in Thailand. So people voted for this Thai party and are now essentially waiting for a while now. They've been waiting for their 10,000 free bahts. But there's no such thing as free money. So how does that 10,000 bahts work? And why am I bringing it up now? Well, it turns out the Thai party is about getting ready to start releasing that 10,000 baht per individual that voted for them, essentially. And the 10,000 baht of free money they're receiving is actually CBDC money. And they're also going to be receiving the CBDC money where it only operates for about 6 months. So for 6 months, this 10,000 baht can, essentially be used. After 6 months, the CBDC 10,000 baht will expire. Not only that, they can only spend it 4 kilometers away from their properties, because beyond 4 kilometers, the CBDC money will not work. So, Thailand issues digital money to 50 million people as social benefits. Thailand is rolling out a massive digital cash handout plan to jumpstart its lagging economy. From August 1st, eligible businesses and individuals can start registering for the Digital Wallet Program, which plans to give 10,000 baht, around $275, to 50 million citizens. The Digital Wallet Plan was a key campaign promise of the new Prime Minister of the Thai party in Thailand. The government believes that this initiative will create an economic tornado with a predicted increase in the gross domestic products, GDP, by 1.2 to 1.6 percentage gains. But not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that this kind of short-term fix essentially won't lead to long-term economic growth. Funding this massive program hasn't been straightforward. Initially, the government planned to use funds from the State Bank of Agriculture and agriculture cooperatives, but financial experts raised red flags, forcing a change in the plans. Now, the project will be funded through the 2024 and 2025 fiscal budgets. Deputy Minister of Finance said that the cost had dropped from 500 million baht to $13.8 billion to 450 billion baht, $12.4 billion in other words, making the budgetary fundings possible. He also mentioned that not everyone would benefit from the handouts. Tens of thousands of shop owners and individuals with a history of fraud in the past programs will be excluded. Let me get this straight. Not only are they going to be releasing CBDC money to 50 million people in Thailand, not only does this money have an expiry date of 6 months, not only does this money can only be spent 4 kilometers away from their properties, people who have a history of some sort of criminal activity, as if you're an individual or a business owner, you won't be receiving CBDC money. Is this the start of excluding people? Also, I mean, the expiry date, the proximity of you being able to spend that money, and it's people being excluded because of their past. Also, certain things like oil, services, and online purchases may not be eligible for the digital money. Although the final list will be announced soon, Center said that. This is what was announced. The digital wallet is a big government project to add money to the pockets of the people, small businesses, and the economy. For the sake of legal and technical prudence and security of users, implementing the project takes time, but this wait is definitely not in vain, is what was announced in Thailand by the finance ministers. Thailand has been grappling with a sluggish economy for years. The World Bank's Thailand Economic Monitor projected GDP growth of just 2.4% for 2024. The digital wallet program reportedly wants to provide a much needed boost, but its success remains to be seen. So this is pretty much the start of the world shifting in Thailand. But obviously the world is shifting everywhere. Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates. So many countries are definitely shifting. The EU is coming out, they have already released some of the MiCA regulations and so on. The UK is going into digital wallets and so on. So a lot of things are happening around the world. But this is the first signs we're seeing of basically expiring money, proximity money, and people being excluded. In a CBDC world. Now, the BRICS nations control 72% of rare metals reserves. The data essentially just came out now. With the amount of countries that are joining BRICS or all within BRICS, it's shown how much control they have over precious metals going forward. They have quite a bit of a control on oil reserves, and they're getting quite a bit of a control on reserve metals going forward. Now, before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. If you have a comment, drop it inside the comment section as well. I read everybody's comments one by one. We do a live Q&A, alongside the live show. So let's go inside the comment section. Let's see where I was. I was at here. I'm selling in the XRP pump and buying. I already read that one. Thank you. No problem, Joe. Anytime. Messi, good to see you. How you doing? What's up, brother Miles and CMF? Below, good to see you. How you doing? Hey up. Let's go. Even in Miles and CMF. Semper, good to see you. How you doing? Jim, good to see you. How you doing? What can XRP reach before dropping? Alongside the case, 2 to 5 is what we're looking at. CBDC is scary, yep. But you know how you can benefit from CBDCs? It's very simple. XRP. 10K BAT, 214 pounds. Miles, I just realized I was watching the live very late, 10 minutes behind. So, I mean, the only way you can benefit from essentially CBDCs is quite easy. It's called XRP. There's only one essentially crypto project that's doing CBDCs, has a CBDC platform, working alongside banks of international service. I mean, there are so many projects in the crypto space. 24,000 crypto projects, as I said, 24,000 crypto projects. There's a lot doing AI projects. There's so much competition, AI projects, gaming projects, Web3 projects, data projects, but there's one doing CBDCs. One has a CBDC platform. One has essentially utilized their CBDC platform within a country, Paolo, and one is working alongside the Bank of International Settlements. One has won CBDC awards, and it's Ripple and XRP. They've won CBDC awards. 24,000 crypto projects. So look, if you are scared of CBDCs, and you should be, because they're not great things, they're not good things in any sort of way, but you can benefit from CBDCs by being the backbone of CBDCs. It's called XRP. It's the backbone of CBDCs. It's something that's going to happen whether people like it or not, CBDCs. So why get stuck in CBDCs when you can benefit from CBDCs if you're smart enough? If you're smart enough. Now, the BRICS control, we're going to go through. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section once again. 10 minutes back. This news about Thailand was what you told us all about a while ago, and exactly what countries will start doing with CBDC's control. Very worrisome. That is true. I did reveal this whole Thailand situation last year, and now we have the update of the release happening. XRP, XLM, BTC if you're rich, XRP if you're average or looking for a bigger profit. And will you express your opinion on when you think the top is before the drop? Yes, I will. XLM do CBDC too in Ukraine. XLM does CBDCs as well in Ukraine as well, but one of them, well, not in Ukraine, they're not fully doing Ukraine. But the bigger role is XRP. But obviously, I'm holding XLM as well. I'm holding XDC. So they all play a role. XRP will play a role. XLM will play a role. And so will XDC. All the X's will play a massive role. True. But one of them has won awards for CBDC. But XLM plays a role as well. Now, the BRICS controls. BRICS controls 72% of rare metal reserves. The BRICS alliance continues to strengthen its position on the global stage. After consolidating its dominance in the oil and gas sectors, the group now holds a significant share of the world's rare metal reserves. This strategic resource could provide the alliance with crucial advantage in international trade exchanges. A reinforced grip on world resources. The expansion of BRICS in 2024 has strengthened their grip on the global energy markets. The bloc now controls 42% of the world's oil and gas reserves, thanks to its integration of new members. This strict position allows them to influence prices and energy policies intentionally. At the same time, the BRICS hold 72% of the rare metal reserves, which are essential in essentially advanced technologies and electronics. This majority gives them an unprecedented ability to shape the rules of the game in trade of strategic minerals. The bloc can easily influence the technological and manufacturing industries on a essentially global scale. This new dynamic suggests a potential shift of traditional powers towards these emerging nations. Economic and political strategies of BRICS. The next BRICS summit is expected to focus on the trade of rare metals and oil. Members will discuss the possibilities of reconstructing current trade agreements to strengthen the economic integrations of the alliance. A report indicates that the prospects for cooperation in the field of studying, developing, and rationally using mineral resources will be on the agenda. Head of the Russian Federal Agency of Subsoil Use, Pitigos, emphasized the importance of these cooperations. He stated that it would ensure the continuance of supplies and price stability. Furthermore, the bloc wishes to use local currencies for rare mineral exchanges. This strategy could weaken the position of the US dollar in international markets, such as change could essentially have profound consequences on global economies, particularly in the sectors heavily dependent on the imports of these materials. In summary, the maneuvers of BRICS could not only redefine the rules of international trade, but also suggest deeper changes in global economic governance. By anticipating these developments, global actors must consider adaptive strategies to maintain their relevance in the rapidly changing world. So, BRICS nations having quite a bit of a control on oil and gas reserves, about 42%, and now they have a control of about 72% on terms of minerals and essentially precious metals, which means all these companies building these AI chips at one point will need some sort of materials and some sort of precious metals to build these AI chips, or to essentially build any sort of batteries and so on going forward for all these electric cars we're going to be getting in the future. It turns out the BRICS nations are in fully control of all these items also. We have a very bright future ahead of all of us. It's a lovely world to be living in. Now, also, my British sarcasm sometimes kicks in. Now, Kamala Harris is the next news we're going to go through. Kamala Harris, the liar, Kamala Harris, no-show at Bitcoin conference stirs a crypto debate over Democratic crypto stance. Apparently, there's some news and rumors that we've essentially been going around for a few days, and I revealed one of them on this live show as well. Also one of them yesterday, that Kamala Harris apparently is very pro-crypto, apparently. Mark Cuban has came out and essentially said that she's very pro-crypto and she can change the world of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. I don't know how much Mark Cuban was paid off. He has a lot of money, but apparently no integrity. So a lot of things have been happening on that basis. But it turns out all this pro-crypto talk about Kamala Harris has all just been one big lie. Because one of the biggest lies that was revealed was she's going to be attending the Bitcoin conference and to, essentially go head to head with Trump on being pro-crypto. Apparently, she's not attending. She was never going to be attending at all. So that's the next news we're going to go through on tonight's live show. But before we go through that, let's go to the comment section. Let's see where we were at. How would you know what the top is? How would I know when the top is? I know, trust me. Should I? Well, if you trusted me so far, you can trust me the rest. Should I remind you to send me that article or source on Telegram? Yes, remind me. After case. How would I know after the case? I would know, trust me. If you trusted me so far and everything that I've said has pretty much come true, I would say things that 6 months later would come true. I'm very good on understanding how things work and how manipulation and corruption works. I've been right so far. I've never been wrong. I've been right most of the times. No, I've always been right, to be fairly honest. I've always been right. So if you trusted me this far for over a year now, you can trust me the rest. So I would know when the top is in. Because things I say gets repeated by CEOs and directors about 6 months, 7 months later. Hey, Miles, how are you doing? How much would you see XLM go? Because how far XLM would go right now? Not much. After case, some market movements will be happening. It'll be a little bit higher. Happy Pisces, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hello, my brother. This is Got It Clothing. I'm using this YouTube account. God bless you and your family, Miles. Got It Clothing, good to see you as well. How you doing? Long time. How have you been? How's things? Does that mean that precious metals will rise quite a bit or no? For the time being, no. But they can essentially manipulate the price later on, especially after BRICS meetings. Kamala Harris, let's go. Happy Pisces. Miles facts, let's go in. Now, Kamala Harris, the big liar Kamala Harris. The no-show at Bitcoin conference stirs crypto debate over Democratic crypto stance. So if for some oddly reason you thought to yourself that Kamala Harris is pro-crypto, I don't know why you would have any sort of thoughts like that, but if you did have a thought, even for a second, that Kamala Harris is pro-crypto, here's some information. The US Vice President and potential Democratic Party candidate, Kamala Harris, will not speak at the Bitcoin Conference 2024. David Bailey, the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine, confirmed this, noting that it is not as surprising given how the Biden administration has been treating the industry, something that I revealed yesterday when Mark Cuban and everybody else was coming out apparently saying Kamala Harris is pro-crypto, she's going to change blockchain forever and bring innovation. And I said Kamala Harris was a part of the Biden administration that was trying to stifle innovation when essentially the congressmen were trying to bring regulations that were pro-crypto. She was a part of the Biden administration that was trying to veto everything. So why is it now that she's pro-crypto and going to change blockchain innovations in the United States? It was all BS. I said this yesterday. Interesting enough, today, the CEO, David Bailey, has came out and said, no, she's not going to be attending, and it's not surprising because she was a part of the Biden administration. David Bailey had earlier teased the likelihood of potential Democrat presidential nominee speaking at the event, like her Republican counterpart, Donald Trump. At the time, essentially, he described this a chance for the party to reset its position on crypto. Politics divide crypto as stakeholders call for support. Meanwhile, David Bailey did not elaborate on why Kamala Harris will not attend the event, but many have taken this as a sign of her strong anti-crypto stance. Even David Bailey seems to agree with this point of view and retreats his support for Donald Trump. No surprise, what can she say to us when she's actively imprisoning developers, forcing our industries overseas, essentially attacking our proof of work? It would have been a disaster for her. All eyes are on Trump now, he posted. However, not everyone agrees with this view. A venture company partner, Adam, criticized the crypto community for increasingly attacking the Democrats, even though it appears that they are now trying to work with crypto. The politicians, the Democratic politicians that are pro-crypto, is not because they understand blockchain technology in any sort of way. It's because they're being paid off. Okay? Coinbase, Ripple, Kraken, they've created a crypto fund that any politician wants to become pro-crypto will have access to. It's about $170 million inside of it. So this venture company coming out, Adam, and coming out and criticizing the crypto community and saying Democrats are pro-crypto as well. Yes, because of a crypto fund, not because they want to be. They would have vetoed anything. According to him, this is the industry's best chance to become baptism. Therefore, the industry must take this opportunity to work with anyone who offers constructive crypto policies, regardless of which side of the aisles they belong. Still, many believe it is too early to say that the Democratic Party has made any tangible moves to court crypto voters, especially after years of foster relationships. Several recommendations have been made on what the party should do first, ranging from essentially commuting Ross' sentence to sacking Gary Gensler or withdrawing all the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC's enforcement actions against industry players. Yes, if you are a Democrat or if you are part of the Biden administration, you want to show you're pro-crypto, get rid of Gary Gensler. That would be the biggest sign that you are pro-crypto. Will Kamala Harris embrace crypto? Question mark. Recent media reports suggest that Kamala Harris might be considering changing the Democratic Party's approach to crypto if nominated as a presidential candidate. It's absolute BS. She's not going to be changing her policies. According to the reports, her advisors have essentially contacted stakeholders, including Mark Cuban, about the crypto policies. This aligns with earlier predictions that Biden's withdrawal from the race could offer the Democratic candidate an opportunity to regain the trust of the crypto industry. Although Kamala Harris, is also part of the current administration, many believe she would be more open to supporting emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and crypto. I don't know who these people are. It says many people believe that Kamala Harris is more open to crypto than Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is. People believe this, by the way. More people believe. I don't know where they're finding these morons from, but more people apparently believe that Kamala Harris is more pro-crypto than Donald Trump. Donald Trump has essentially 3 NFT projects that were quite very successful for him. He's extremely pro-crypto. He's backing cryptocurrencies. He's trying to bring Bitcoin essentially mining into the US, and every Bitcoin should be mined in the US. He's trying to essentially bring blockchain innovation. He's a part of blockchain, essentially. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, that people believe she's more pro-crypto than Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is the same person as part of the Biden administration that vetoed anything that congressmen tried to bring out to bring innovation inside the United States. Kamala Harris was the same person that backed Gary Gensler. So who are these morons that are coming out and saying, yes, I believe she's more pro-crypto than Donald Trump? It's like some people are allergic to factual information. It's like common sense is not that common anymore. So I don't know where they're getting these informations from, that more people believe she's more pro-crypto. How is essentially a big question. Just one word, how, and a question mark. However, many stakeholders, including Gemini co-founders, the Tyler brothers, are skeptical about whether Kamala Harris would support the industry. Yes, you should be skeptical, very. Her confirmed absence from the Bitcoin conference could increase these doubts. Even though it might not be the reason for her absence, media reports confirm that she will speak on Wednesday at a convention of Black sorority in essentially Indianapolis, the same day that Trump will be speaking at the Bitcoin conference. Genuinely, I mean, I'm baffled by the IQ levels of some people in this world. That there are actual people there that are just pretty much allergic to essentially allergic to factual information. So we have one person that has 3 NFT projects, is trying to bring innovation inside the United States for blockchain, who's trying to bring Bitcoin mining into the USA, who's trying to bring regulations for crypto into the United States. And then we have one person who has stifled innovation for 4 years. And people believe that the person that's been stifling blockchain innovation for 4 years is more pro-crypto than the guy that has 3 NFT projects trying to bring Bitcoin mining and regulations. Make it make sense. Now, honestly, sometimes it baffles me, the IQ levels of people It just baffles me. Now, the next news to go for on tonight's live show is breaking news, essentially. Hashdex has filed an S1 for combined spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. We're going to get the first ever Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF combined together. The documentation has been filed in. But before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. If you have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. We do a live Q&A because this live show is live, as always, every single night. I'm reading everybody's comments one by one. If you have a question, drop it down inside the comment section. Let's see where we were. We were at here. Yeah. Nope, I've always been right. Love it, Miles. 99.2% actually. Let's go, Shelly. Do you see a little over $1 with XLM after the XRP case is over? Highly possible, yes. In Miles we trust. Let's go, Jim. They are scared Trump will out-Trump her, Miles. They definitely are, yes. They definitely are. Now, Hashdex. The asset management firm Hashdex has submitted the S1 filings for its combined spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF products. This is a major milestone for the firm's pursuit, as it comes weeks after it essentially first submitted its official filing for the fund. Hashdex ETF might trigger success. According to the filing, the asset manager said the combined spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF will hold essentially both assets on an adjusted basis to underscore a balanced portfolio. This S1 filing comes at a time spot Ethereum ETFs started trading in less than 48 hours. This year has remained favorable to crypto ETFs in general, with Hashdex coming off as one of the major beneficiaries. It is one of the firms that got approval to list spot Bitcoin ETFs in January, and experience it hopes to apply to this latest products after it submitted the filings in June. The US SEC acknowledged the Hashdex combined ETF earlier this month. So we could be getting, for the first time, a combined, essentially, Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. So if investors want to, they can either go for a Bitcoin ETF or an Ethereum ETF, or why not go for both with one ETF is what's coming next. Now, the next news to go for tonight's live show is regarding Avalanche, AVAX. AVAX is about to introduce something new that nobody else has done so far in the blockchain space, which is to lower the cost on developers, to get more developers coming on the chain. Now, you might be thinking, AVAX is probably desperate and that's why they're doing this. Not really. JP Morgan is using AVAX on a subnet Green, and so is Citibank. So they do have big names tied to them. But this is an interesting move to get more people as developers on AVAX. But before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were at. Hey, in Miles we trust. Let's go, Jim. They are scared. Trump will out Trump. Yep. Great show as always, Miles. Thanks, Miles. Let's go, Ginos. Thanks so much for the kind words. You mentioned 4 to 5 months ago that the FCA rules demands exchanges to tell the FCA if you hold more than 5,000 on exchange. If so far, if I buy XRP's last dip, I have more than 5,000, will I be on the radar and be made to pay tax? Yes. They will be letting them know, but apparently the rules are still a bit vague, and they'll probably find out about two years later is more likely. So if you do buy, essentially cryptocurrencies worth $5,000 or more, then essentially the FCA or the IRS will be alerted, or any other organization, government organization based in your jurisdictions, they will be alerted if your transaction is more than $5,000 on a crypto exchange. But by the looks of it, they're going to be alerted about 2 years later. So they just keep it on file and then release it, in other words. But that could change. So keep that under consideration as well. So the timeline could change from 2 years to next week, in other words. You never know when it comes to tax. Governments sometimes take it too seriously. So you can always use the DeFi space. Not financial advice in any sort of a way, but the DeFi space is always there as well. Avalanche. Avalanche introduces pay-as-you-go system for easier blockchain creation in gaming sector. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, basically, what is a pay-as-you-go system on blockchain? Avalanche, a leading blockchain platform, has announced a significant update that aims to essentially help the creation of dedication to gaming blockchains. Traditionally, launching a blockchain required substantial initial investments and technical barriers, which often deteriorated innovation, especially among independent and small game developers. However, Avalanche is set to change this landscape with this new initiative to facilitate easier and more cost-effective blockchain creation. This innovative move by Avalanche introduces a pay-as-you-go system for its layer 1 networks, pay-as-you-go. This development eliminates the need for developers to lock up a large amount of AVAX, Avalanche's native token, per validator to support their blockchain. Previously, setting up a blockchain on Avalanche required locking up 2,000 AVAX for each validator, a substantial financial barrier for many. This new model aims to lower the entry threshold, encouraging more developers to engage with the blockchain technology and develop their projects without the pressure of significant upfront costs. Boosting innovation and interoperability in gaming. The flexibility of Avalanche's new system is particularly beneficial for the gaming industry. By removing high initial costs, game developers can now experiment more freely, essentially, and even dedicate specific blockchains to individual games, regardless of their size. This level of customization was previously unattainable for smaller projects due to their financial and technical constraints. Furthermore, these dedicated gaming blockchains will maintain interoperability with other layer 1s within the Avalanche network. This connectivity ensures that they can benefit from the broader network's liquidity and capabilities, such as seamlessly transferring in-game assets like NFTs and tokens across various layer 1 networks. This feature is crucial for creating inexpensive integrated gaming experiences where assets can easily move between two different games and platforms within the Avalanche ecosystem. The implementation of this system not only serves to lower barriers for developers, but also promises to enrich the gaming landscape on the blockchain. With easier access to technology, developers are empowered to innovate more freely, potentially increasing the quality and variant of games. The flexibility to spin up the dedicated layer 1s as easily as setting up websites could lead to essential prolifications of new gaming experiences, each tailored to different niches and player communities. So that is what's happening on AVAX, something new that's never been introduced before, something that's of pay-as-you-go. This is definitely going to be helping AVAX quite a lot to get its name on top, is what's going to be happening. This is something that was definitely needed. Now, in terms of gaming as well, the gaming industry is apparently now bigger than the movie and music industry combined. I mean, that's not hard to beat as well. New movies are terrible, to be fairly honest, or new TV shows compared to the old movies and TV shows. And new music is preference-wise. So the movies, to be fair, these days, preference-wise. But the gaming industry brings in more, essentially, more income than the movie industry and music industry combined. And that is why big companies like essentially Netflix or Disney are trying to buy gaming companies as well. They're trying to spend billions of dollars buying gaming companies. And that is why a lot of blockchains are also aiming towards the gaming industry, because it is going to become a massive, massive field. Now, this is definitely going to get more developers on AVAX, which is going to help Avalanche's ecosystem in terms of more developers coming, which means more users will come once the games are developed, which means more price, as in terms of AVAX's price going higher because of more gamers or developers coming on board. So not only that, but AVAX is also great in other terms as well. In terms of their subnet green, a lot of corporations are using AVAX as subnet green. As I named, two of them, JP Morgan and Citibank are using AVAX on a subnet green. And those are two big names, JP Morgan and Citibank. But in terms of gaming is where they're headed as well right now. So I've said this before and I'll say it again, AVAX is also a great project without a doubt. Definitely an underrated project, AVAX. Now you might be thinking, how can you say it's an underrated project? It's in the billions and so on. underrated as in so of everybody's looking towards Solana and some other projects, and nobody's really looking towards AVAX at all. Be on the radar. Before we go through the next news, which is regarding Russia and their new regulations, let's go inside the comment section first. If you have any questions, as I said, put it down inside the comment section. I'm reading everybody's comments one by one. There is only alerting you to see if you can cash it out to pay tax, correct? They're only alerting you to see if you can cash it out to pay tax, correct? Yes. No. Well, here's the thing. If you spend more than $5,000 on an exchange, they do keep that on file, and sometimes they do report it to your, essentially, if you're inside the United States, they report to the IRS. If you're inside the United Kingdom, they report to the FCA, and so on. If you are not paying your crypto taxes, and if you spend more than $5,000 on a centralized exchange on cryptocurrencies. Now, the timeline of when they report it is vague, but they do keep that on that file on essentially on record. And in some cases, they'll reveal it 2 years later to the IRS that you've been buying cryptocurrencies of this much amounts and so on. And in some cases, they reveal it to the next month. But once the IRS, for example, in this scenario, let's say finds, or the FCA in the UK finds out, or any of the jurisdiction around the world finds out, some will let you know that they know you hold cryptocurrencies by sending you a letter, and some might just send you a fine for not reporting it in the first place. Most likely, they'll send you a letter telling you that they know that you hold cryptocurrencies because the exchanges talked, let's say. But that's what's mostly going to happen. They'll send you a letter letting you know that they know that you hold crypto and that you owe tax. Now, that could change, and they could just send you a small fine. So, not financial advice in any sort of a way. Always keep yourself updated on regulations, just in case within your jurisdictions, things do change. Miles, what if you buy on small increment? If you buy on small amounts, you're off the radar. For how long? Who knows when? I'm scared to use the DeFi space after what you said. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the DeFi space is absolutely lawless. I mean, people call crypto, the wild, wild west. Nowadays, the crypto space is not like the wild, wild west anymore. It has some regulations and policies. The DeFi space is pretty much lawless. So I understand why you're saying that. But I am coming out with a PDF file on the Telegram group, which is, by the way, free. If anybody wants to join the Telegram group, everything I provide is completely free source. I've never charged a single penny for over 1.5 years now to anyone. I believe education should always remain free. So I'm coming out with another PDF file on the Telegram group on how to use the DeFi space properly, what not to do in the DeFi space, how to not get scammed in the DeFi space. So a lot of things that you know about. Obviously, crypto is not all rainbows and sunshines. There was a bad side of crypto. But once that PDF comes out on Telegram group, read it, and then you'll be on the safe side of DeFi. I'm scared. Yeah. Miles, can you explain a little bit about the DeFi and how it works? The DeFi space is absolutely lawless. Pretty much absolutely lawless, and there are more scams, and you can easily get scammed if you don't know what you're doing inside DeFi. Because in exchange, if you buy cryptocurrencies from Binance, you're protected. If you buy cryptocurrencies from Binance, Crypto.com, essentially Coinbase, Kraken, MX, whatever exchange that you do use, a legitimate exchange, you're protected. Your assets are some sort of way protected, and you can withdraw your assets whenever you want, and so on. And they have some sort of insurance policies up to a certain extent. That's only if the exchange takes responsibility for any sort of compromisations. Now, in terms of DeFi spaces, there's a lot of random websites that you can buy cryptocurrencies from. Sometimes they pay out your cryptocurrency. Sometimes the random DeFi website is already compromised. You just don't know, and you connect your wallet to this random DeFi website, and then poof, your entire cryptocurrencies are gone, just like magic. It's like a Houdini trick or David Copperfield. But if you know what you're doing inside the DeFi space, you're pretty much fine. In the DeFi space, you don't want to be connecting your wallet to too many random websites in any sort of a way. There's a lot of random websites out there, too many to count. So much scamming goes around DeFi spaces. And also, sometimes when it's too good to be true, most likely is, stay away from it. In exchanges, for example, they will offer you, to keep your assets with an exchange, and you earn a certain amount. So you can stake your crypto assets, for example, on Binance, and they'll give you, 5% on your crypto assets. And you might think that's not a lot, but it's a safe amount. 5% to 10% they'll give you on your stake amounts. If you go to the DeFi space, there are websites on the DeFi space that you can stake the same coin on the DeFi website, and you'll get a return of 1,000%. And you might think to yourself, well, this is amazing. Why would I stake my coins on Binance for 5% staking rewards when I can go to this random DeFi website for 1,000% APY return? It's because the random DeFi website is an absolute scam. And too many people connect their wallets to that website, and poof, again, your crypto is gone. So a lot of scams in the DeFi space, a lot of scams. It's absolutely lawless. And if you don't know what you're doing, you connect your wallet to the wrong website that is already compromised or is a scam website, your wallet's gone. Forget about it. So the PDF documents on how to use the DeFi space safely is coming on Telegram. When I release it on Telegram, read it. And if anybody wants to see that PDF document, join the Telegram group of this live show. It's completely free. The Telegram group will be free forever. Everything I provide will be free forever. So, if you think of what's the catch, I just like the idea of helping people if you're new and you're watching this. For over 1.5 years, I've never charged anyone a single penny, and I never will. I believe education should always remain free. Education should always be free. And I've said this since day one. I'll say it over again. 1,000,000 times. So the link to the Telegram group also is on X, on my X profile. If you're watching this on X, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it's on YouTube profile as well. To join the Telegram group. It's called Crypto Mouse Family, CMF. It's also the name of this live show. But yeah, definitely read that Telegram. Definitely read that PDF to stay on the safe side of the DeFi space. Very lawless in DeFi. So there's a little explanation of DeFi. What crypto exchanges do you recommend? I live in California, thank you. What crypto exchanges do I recommend and you live in California? Coinbase will be the safest exchange, but they have the highest, essentially, fees going for them. Crypto.com is also a bit pricey on fees as well. Binance will always be the, for me, it's always been number one choice, Binance. But, Coinbase is safe, which is also a good choice. Crypto.com is safe, it's also a good choice. They're both regulated as well. Coinbase is also regulated. Crypto.com is regulated. Binance is now regulated after being sued. Kraken is also good to go as well. You should be able to use these exchanges. Uphold should be able to operate in California as well, if I'm not mistaken. That's an all right exchange to use as well. Why not? Uphold also offers a crypto bank card, not in California, but they might do later on. I've probably spent £200 on V-Bucks a few years back. That was a big mistake, I'm guessing. That's where these gaming companies get their money. Pretty much, yes. And why would you pay taxes on something you buy if you're leaving it on your cold wallet? So no. Okay. Regarding buying cryptocurrencies, if you don't sell them, there's no tax involved, technically. So if you buy a cryptocurrency, move it to your cold wallet. So let me just clarify the misinformation that may be. Okay, so regarding cold wallets and cryptocurrency, if you buy a cryptocurrency and you keep it on your cold wallet and you don't sell it, there's no tax involved. If you buy a cryptocurrency, you sell it for a profit, there's tax involved. So if you move it to your cold wallet, there's no tax. If you don't sell it, there's no tax. The moment you sell it is tax time. Reporting is voluntary. Yes, if you want to, essentially, for the time being, if you sell cryptocurrencies, it's self-reporting. So you would have to go to your own government and say, I'm selling crypto, for example, or I'm buying crypto, for example. It's self-voluntary right now. So in other words, it's basically self-voluntary right now. It's not taxable until you cash out, right? Yes, exactly. It's not taxable until you cash out. So, and by cash out, I mean sell, not cash out into your bank accounts. That's still taxable as well, but just the moment you sell is basically tax time. So also, if you hold it for longer than a year period, for 1 year period or longer, your taxes are reduced, but that does depend on your own jurisdictions, depending on where you're living around the world. Each jurisdiction will have a different type of regulation, but in some jurisdictions, if you hold more than a year, then your taxes are reduced on the amount of you're going to be paying for your profits. If you buy and sell in a short period of time, your taxes will be quite higher. So just spend 4,999 each time, then you won't be flagged. You'll be under the radar. Yes. Hi, Miles and family. I didn't hear what crypto was good for gaming. Yes, crypto was good for Alex. Good to see you. How you doing? Crypto was good for gaming. Yes, the gaming industry is absolutely massive. And what I said was the movie industry and the music industry combined cannot still outperform the gaming industry. It's absolutely massive. And AVAX is going to be going quite big on gaming with their new pay as you go, which is basically developers can come onto AVAX, build games, pay as you go, which is cheaper for them to develop games on AVAX. Not only brings more developers on AVAX's chain, but also brings more users who want to play the games on AVAX. So definitely keep your eye out on AVAX. Say no more. I work too hard to give my money on DeFi. Thanks, Miles. No problem, Daniel. I relate to it. I relate it to Epstein Island. Lol. I can't trust it at this point. No problem, Shelly. I understand that it was just confusing when you said that the IRS would be notified if you bought $5,000 worth and that you owe tax only if you cash out. Yes. It seems very convenient that the government has dropped capital gains to 3,000. It is. Even if you transfer it to another token, it's classified as a sale. Yeah. Yes. Even if you transfer, no, well, if you transfer under some jurisdictions, it falls under a gray area because you're not technically selling, you're converting. It's very odd. It's because there's a little bit of a gray area going on. So some jurisdictions don't have regulations for that gray area of you converting rather than selling. Is Binance regulated by the FCA? If it's not, I'm good on Binance. Binance is not technically regulated by the FCA. So Binance is not, approved by the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. They're not approved technically. But Binance is trying to get approved. I will take loan against the asset, which is tax-free. Yeah, Ronnie, I would do the same thing as well. As I've always said, the best method to skip crypto tax, honestly, the number one method to skip crypto tax, a lot of people will tell you, move country, go and live in Dubai, it's tax-free. Essentially, a lot of people will tell you, essentially, go to Dubai, it's tax-free and so on, or go to Bahrain or Kuwait or Saudi Arabia or Monaco. But a lot of people don't tell you that if you want to go and live in Monaco, you need to put $500,000 into a bank account for you to get residency, for you to be able to essentially cash out tax-free. You can't just go to vacation on Monaco and cash out. You can't just go to vacation on Dubai and cash out because you're still, essentially taxable under your own jurisdiction. Once you go back, it's counted as fraud, basically. And if you want to, essentially cash out in Dubai, you would actually have to live in Dubai after a long period of time, then you can cash out. And you might not be able to cash the best prices to cash out on. So a lot of people won't tell you the details, but they'll tell you, move to Dubai and cash out. It's tax-free for cryptocurrencies. Yes, but you would have to live there for quite a period of time, have some sort of business or some sort of operations going on before you decide to tax, before you decide to cash out. You can't just go on a vacation to those countries and cash out and things. Yes, I've beat the system. You haven't beat the system, it's fraud. Once you get back and your government finds out, you're going to be getting a very heavy fine. So the easiest, legitimate, within law method to skip crypto tax is to borrow against your crypto assets. It's completely tax-free forever because you don't pay tax on debt. There is no tax on debt. So if you borrow against your crypto assets, it's tax-free because you can't tax debt. And you can do that in any country. You don't have to move country to skip crypto tax. If you borrow against your crypto assets, it's tax-free. Now, when can you do this? Not now. I mean, there are a few platforms that will offer you to borrow against your crypto assets, but the regulations right now are a bit vague. And if something goes south with that particular, crypto platform that you borrow against, and they go bankrupt and your money's gone. That's it. So for the borrowing part, wait a little bit, because banks, for example, like HSBC Bank and Standard Chartered Bank, and quite a lot of other established banks around the world are going to be offering essentially services like borrowing against your crypto assets. HSBC Bank is actually going to be one of the first ones. They're going to be doing it out of Hong Kong, and then Dubai, and then the UK, and so on and so on. So once you do borrow against your assets from banks like HSBC Bank, you know that your assets are safe, and it's not some random crypto platform. So wait for the time being if you do want to borrow against your assets, and borrow it from a legitimate place that is backed by some sort of financial conduct authority, and they can't just go bankrupt overnight. And as we all know, in the crypto space, everybody says the banks are going to fail, the banks are going to close. Yes, not all banks are going to fail, and not all banks are going to close. The banks, as I said previously, have essentially partnered with blockchain companies who will survive everything. The banks that are working alongside blockchain companies, partnered with blockchain companies, will survive everything. The banks that don't have any partnerships with blockchain are the ones that are going to be going belly side up and closing their doors. But HSBC Bank is partnered with Metico and Ripple. They're pretty much fine. But also later on, Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com, Kraken, these exchanges will become more established within the law, and they will offer crypto services like borrowing against your assets. So you can borrow from these exchanges as well later on when they're more established within the policies. But again, it's the easiest way to skip crypto tax, borrowing against your assets, because you don't pay tax on debt. No financial advice in any sort of a way, and everything has its entertainment purposes, but that is the law. If you borrow against your assets, you don't pay tax on debt. So, is Binance regular? Take a loan, best thing ever. Use 90% of crypto holdings as collateral, skim a bit off the top if needed, and pay tax. Who cares? We are the new 1%. Let's go, happy Pisces. Facts. Is Beam still good, Miles? It's good in my prospects in the gaming field. It's good. But whatever you have, the amount of Beam that you have, stick with it. Don't go for any more Beam. But Beam, in my eyes, it's as a gaming project, is a great project in the gaming field, and the gaming industry is quite massive. But whatever you have of Beam, I would say just keep that amount. Don't go for any more. Go for other assets. In 2027, basically not top 1%. Yeah, it's better to educate yourself with the rules and regulations than to run away. Facts. If you understand the law, you will understand that there are loopholes within the law. It's very simple. Unintelligent people will try to run from the law. Intelligent people will try to use the law and to benefit themselves. Always remember that. Unintelligent people will try to run from the law. Intelligent people will understand there are loopholes within the law that can benefit them. So be the intelligent person and use the law to benefit yourself. Yes, and in Monaco, pay $23 for a croissant. Actually, that's true as well. But, you know, when I went to Monaco, London was more expensive than Monaco in my eyes. Honestly, in my eyes, London was more expensive, central London, to put in perspective, because I was recently in Monaco, and central London is more expensive than Monaco in my eyes. Genuinely. And I pretty much did everything, you know. I did a lot of videos and so on as well. But I was at the Café de Paris hotel and so on, and the casino and the bars, the clubs, the high-end restaurants. And central London is more expensive than Monaco. Like, genuinely. Central London is more expensive. It just shows you how expensive London really is. And the answer is too expensive. London is too expensive. But obviously, if you ask me where would you rather live, Monaco or London, it's an easy answer, Monaco. But central London is more expensive than Monaco. Honestly. Borrow against, because I thought it was going to be the other way around as well. When I went to Monaco, I thought, you know, Monaco's going to be more expensive, the most expensive place, and so on and so on. Turns out central London is more expensive than Monaco. Borrow against it. Knew he was going to say that. Even if you make money on a token, then swap it. still a taxable event. It's a taxable event, but it falls under a gray area. If you actually take the time to read the small print, once your money is in the bank, technically they don't have it to give it you back. Yes, that's true. They don't have it. Yep, got it. Thanks. I wasn't going to get any more. What up, Miles and family? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Ray, good to see you, brother. How you doing? How you been? You can walk around Monaco with a Rolex and not get robbed. I'll be happy to pay £23 for a croissant. Yes, that is true. Yeah, Monaco. I mean, obviously, I would rather live in Monaco than London. I think everybody would rather choose to live in Monaco. It's much more safer. Definitely more safer. You felt extremely safe in Monaco. I mean, I wear my Rolex once. I wear it most of the times, but I wear it once and I was almost about to get robbed in London. But in Monaco, you felt extremely safe. Nothing happens. And I've revealed the story of they tried to get my watch and didn't happen because I'm not giving my watch. It's my watch. Yes, I agree. London's more pricey, but you get free glass of and Selfridges, trying on some elegant clothes. Never in Canada, which is true. I don't know about the Canada pot, but yeah, that's Selfridge pot. And did you win any poker games, Miles? Lol. No, I didn't. I didn't play poker in Monaco, but I am a good poker player. I'm a very good poker player. You should go to Bulgaria to see what is means expensive. Brother, is Bitstamp good? Bitstamp is a good exchange. It's an alright exchange. I wouldn't say it's a top 10 exchange. Miles, you would bang him up. You showed them the Kung Fu Panda Miles, did you? No, they just never had a chance, I'll be fairly honest. It was an interesting confrontation that I had. Now, Russia. According to the recent report, Russia has approved a bill to legalize Bitcoin mining and crypto payments. This move, passed in the first reading, sets the stage for regulated digital currency mining industries. The bill's aim to curb illegal activities, attracts investments, and creates jobs, marking a significant shift in the country's approach to cryptocurrencies. Russia's Duma legal framework for Bitcoin mining. The bill, introduced by a group of deputies led by Anatolio, chairman of Duma Committee on Financial Markets, establishes clear guidelines for Bitcoin mining. According to a report from the RIA, it aims to reduce illegal mining activities and related offenses by implementing strict controls. According to Nikita, a member of the Budget and Taxes Committee, in the regulation will make it harder to use digital currencies for illegal transactions in Russia. He also noted that the miners mined around 54,000 bitcoins worth over $3.5 billion last year in Russia. Meanwhile, the draft law outlines the requirements for individuals and legal entities involved in digital currency minings. The governments and agreements with the Bank of Russia will set these standards. In addition, the Ministry of Digital Development will oversee compliance, ensuring the mining activities adhere to the established rules. However, the government can also ban crypto mining in specific regions if necessary. The report notes only registered legal entities and individual entrepreneurs can mine in the country. However, citizens who are not entrepreneurs can mine without registration if they stay within the energy consumption limits set by the Cabinet of Ministers. Essentially, the production for maintaining this register will be detailed in a government regulatory act. Additionally, legal entities and entrepreneurs are prohibited from combining mining with electricity-related activities. This separation aims to prevent conflicts of interest and ensure fair policy in the energy markets. Regulation and compliance focus. The bill mandates Bitcoin miners to report the digital currency obtained from mining and the address identifiers used for transactions. This information will provide to the government authorized body additionally for comply a list of suspicious cryptocurrency addresses to aid the anti-money laundering efforts and prevent other financial illicit activities. Russia is essentially going towards the AML route, which is something that every other country has went on the path of. Every other country that has essentially, gone into blockchain, essentially in CBDCs and stable coins and regulations and so on, they've all had this AML rule, which is the anti-money laundering rule for cryptocurrencies. Russia has just implemented this today. Meanwhile, the bill will also be allowing the ceilings of mined digital currency without using Russian information infrastructure. However, it prohibits the circulation of digital currencies within Russia. Except for mining and distribution within mining pools, beside advertising or offering cryptocurrencies to the public, it is also banned along with promoting goods and services related to digital currency issuance. If intact, the law will come into force on September 1st, 2024. This regulation represents a significant shift in Russia's stance on cryptocurrency landscapes, aiming to foster a controlled and legal digital currency market. So, Russia has introduced regulations within Russia for cryptocurrency mining, essentially for Bitcoin mining, and for crypto payments. The regulations essentially legalized and passed the bill today, which is massive news. And they introduced an AML rule as well, the anti-money laundering rule, which means Russia is about to go fully legit on blockchain and crypto payments. The world is definitely shifting into that digital era. Now, the next news we're going to cover on tonight's live show is regarding JD.com and how JD.com has launched the JD stablecoin in Hong Kong. And JD.com is a leading Chinese e-commerce giant who has now went into stablecoins. Before we go through that news, let's go to the comment section first. Hey, Miles, what are your thoughts on the Phantom Wallet? I've seen it. I haven't... Regarding Phantom Wallet, I use Phantom Wallet, and I have heard that Phantom Wallet has become compromised through one of their own other platforms and so on. So, not sure. It's been quite a while since I've used my Phantom Wallet, and I only use it for Solana basis. But I've heard regarding that it has become compromised in some sort of a way. Has Putin put a stop to that mega BTC farm due to electronic outage problems they are having? No, so far. No, Putin has been buying as much silver as gold as possible to back BRICS. That's true. Very true. Now, JD. JD.com launches JD stablecoin in Hong Kong. JD.com, a leading Chinese e-commerce giant, is set to unveil its JD stablecoin in Hong Kong. This digital currency will be tied to a 1-to-1 ratio, the Hong Kong dollar, ensuring price stability and direct correlation with the Hong Kong value. The initiative is spearheaded by JD CoinLink Technology Hong Kong, a subsidiary of the JD Technology Group. What benefits will JD stablecoin offer? JD stablecoin will leverage a public blockchain, ensuring transparency and robust security. The stablecoin reserves will be backed by highly liquid and trustworthy assets. These reserves will be managed by licensed financial institutions in independent accounts, ensuring fund protection and easy access. Regular audits and disclosures will verify these reserves, thus maintaining user trust and affirming JD stablecoin's reliability. How does the regulatory sandbox impact JD stablecoins? Now, a regulatory sandbox essentially is where exchanges and crypto platforms will essentially be testing out their projects within a digital sandbox. And then corporations and the government can see these testings, being examined. And once it's ready for mass production, it will leave the digital sandbox and everybody can use it. The announcement of a JD stablecoin follows the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's recent listing of a sandbox participant for stablecoin issuers on July 18th. JD CoinLink Technology is among these selected, emphasizing JD.com's dedication to regulatory adherence to the financial innovation. The sandbox will allow JD.com to test its stablecoin within a controlled environment, ensuring robust security and compliance before full-scale rollout. Key takeaways for users. Valuable insights. The JD stablecoin offers a stable value linked to Hong Kong's reducing cryptocurrency volatility. Reserves are held by licensed financial institutions, ensuring security and accessibility. Regular audits and disclosure guarantees transparency and trustworthiness. Regulatory sandbox participants highlights JD.com's compliance and innovation focus. Conclusion. JD.com's introduction of JD stablecoin represents a strategic move to expand its financial technology services and innovative within a digital economy. By bridging traditional finance with modern digital solutions, JD.com aims to meet the evolving needs of its users and solidify its position as a forward-thinking enterprise in the cryptocurrency sector. Now, the next news to go through on tonight's live show is regarding the European Union and how they're continuing their blockchain adoption. But regarding the whole JD situation, JD.com introducing a stablecoin in Hong Kong, a lot of corporations are coming forward and creating essentially these stablecoins in these digital sandboxes because it gives everybody an opportunity to create something, introducing digital sandbox, hopefully get picked up by institutions. But Hong Kong is definitely still trying to aim for that #1 spot as a digital hub. Now, the next news on regarding the European Union, before we go through that, some side comment section first, let's see where we were at. JD is not sportswear in the UK. Yeah, not that one. Now, European Union. European Union continues hinting at blockchain adoption. The European Union seems to be dropping hints that blockchain technology might soon play a bigger role in its plans, especially for helping growing tech companies or scale-ups that are hinting financial roadblocks. Scale-up companies in Europe are facing serious financial challenges. Despite being more innovative and productive than the average firm, they struggle to get enough capital. By the time these companies are about 10 years old, they are raising only half as much as money as similar companies in places like Silicon Valley. This huge gap in funding is a major issue, and it's not tied to any specific industry or economic cycles. It's a consistent problem that makes it hard for European companies to compete globally. One of the big reasons for this funding gap is that there aren't enough local investors willing to back these companies at important growth steps. Most of the big investors come from foreign investors, which isn't the case in places like the US, in Europe, and about 80% of scale-ups deals involve foreign lead investors, while in San Francisco, it's only about 14% venture capital investments in the US, and it dwarfs what's available in Europe, making it tough for local companies to get the funding they need. Even when Europe and the UK are combined, the amount of venture capital available is still way behind what the US companies get. Venture capital funds usually raise and invest money within their own regions, which limits the pool of available capital for high growth companies. An analyst said that Europe is still not investing enough in equity and venture capitals. Many households keep their savings at a low-risk investment, which don't support high-growth sectors. There is a push to channel some of these savings into venture capital investments, which could have an immediate impact on their fundings for innovation in terms of companies. While Europe's venture capital market is growing, there aren't still enough large-scale funds to meet the needs of scale-ups. To make these companies more attractive to investors, Europe needs to deepen its capital markets and improve exit options for investors like going public or getting acquired. The European Investment Bank, EIB, Group offers a range of financial products from seed capital to venture debt. It has already provided around 6.8 billion euros in venture debt to roughly 300 companies. In early 2023, the EIB Group launched the European Tech Champions Initiatives, the ETCI, which wanted to support large-scale venture capital funds. It has already mobilized 10 billion euros in investments. Now, the EU, in terms of investments, yes, compared to the US, obviously venture capitalists in the US markets are much more bigger and so on. Now, things are changing though. how every country is aiming for essentially becoming a crypto hub. So Dubai is aiming for a crypto hub, London's aiming for a crypto hub, Singapore crypto hub, Hong Kong crypto hub, Tokyo's aiming for a crypto hub. Paris is aiming for the AI hub. And Paris has received $1 billion investments from Microsoft and some other firms as well. And in terms of other, essentially, well, France, let's say France and Paris, but in terms of other countries within the EU or cities within the EU or capitals within the EU, they are receiving fundings from American companies. So the funding section is being fixed. And in terms of more blockchains, essentially being more blockchain projects coming out of Europe, it is true. Since the MiCA regulations have been introduced in the EU, we are getting slightly more investments in the EU, and we are also getting more blockchain companies or startups coming out of the EU. So the tides are changing. Silicon Valley has always been the hotspot for new tech, but the way the EU is moving, the EU is becoming slowly a tech capital, very slowly, not an overnight type of situation, over time type of situation. But Silicon Valley has always been known as a tech capital. You know, if you want to technology and innovation, you would go to Silicon Valley. But things are changing in the EU, and it is aiming to become a tech capital moving forward, essentially, which is good to see. You know, genuinely, you know, it's good to see multiple places aiming for technology and, you know, in terms of innovation, and not just one focused key area or city, for example. But also, not only is Microsoft investing into the EU, or Paris in this case, Google is also investing into an AI project that soon might be going public. There's an AI project that's based in France, and it's such a high competitive AI project that their main competitor is not any random AI projects, it's ChatGPT OpenAI. And Google is one of the companies invested into this AI project that's coming out of France. So if you are the type of person that looks at the stock market, for example, and looks for any new companies coming up on an IPO, definitely look out for this French company that's coming out of nowhere, and it's going to be smashing the rates. Not only do they have investments from Google, but they have investments from Amazon and Microsoft. We're talking about $1 billion investments. That's how good they are. So the EU is definitely aiming to become a tech hub. And it's not just things coming out of Paris or France in this case, but there are a lot of technology projects coming out of the EU in general. And a lot of heavy investments are happening in the EU. So the tides are changing. There is no reward for creating and working hard. They just tax more off you, which is true. Now, we've also reached the endings of this live show as well. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. This live show, as always, is called the CMF Live Show. I talk about the most recent news that's happening in terms of cryptocurrencies around the world, cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, regulations, politics, everything that plays a vital role in the world changing into and shifting into a digital era. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like. If you're watching us on X Live, drop a retweet or like or a comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop a like or drop a follow or subscribe. And tune into it every single night. And we also do Q&A, live Q&As as well, where I read everybody's comments and answer everybody's questions one by one. And they can invest because they don't pay tax, so they can grab any market they want, which is also true as well. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. We have come to the endings of tonight's live show. Great to see you. Have a good night, everyone. Let's go with XRP. And if you did tune in late, and if you want to know what we covered on tonight's live show, essentially, we covered news regarding the European Union. We covered news regarding JD.com releasing a stablecoin in Hong Kong. We revealed news on Russia passing and legalizing crypto mining essentially today. We talked about AVAX introducing a pay-as-you-go system, which is very new to cryptocurrencies. We talked about Hashdex introducing a combined spot Bitcoin ETF with Ethereum. We also talked about essentially on tonight's live show, we're going to Kamala Harris being one big liar again. We talked about essentially the BRICS nations controlling about 72% of rare metal reserves. We talked about Thailand coming out with their CBDC structure. We talked about about essentially the decentralized finance space is growing and how DeFi is becoming the new finance. In other words, we talked about empty GOX compensating over 17,000 people, and so far they haven't sold much Bitcoin, so the market shouldn't have so much volatility in it. We also talked about the Senator Luminous coming out with a strategic Bitcoin reserve plan that could be introduced around July 25th. We also talked about the spot Ethereum ETFs generating $937 million in volume so far. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. We also have a Telegram group as well where you can join. Let me see where we were at. Let's see, we were at here. YouTube, let's go, Ronnie. Good night all. Ginos, see you tomorrow same time as usual. Thanks, Miles. Have a good night, everyone. Orphan, see you tomorrow same time as usual. Thanks, Miles, again for all the time you spent with us. See you tomorrow. Mike, see you tomorrow same time as usual as well. Thanks, Miles. Woodhouse, see you tomorrow same time as usual as well. Thanks, Miles. Can you explain how a hedge fund works? Can you explain how a hedge fund works, please? Can I explain how a hedge fund works? Take it. Yes, I can. Shelly, regarding a hedge fund, so we're going to be doing a CMF hedge fund. Sooner or later, we're going to be doing a CMF hedge fund. So I'm going to be raising capital for the CMF, and we're going to do investments into startup projects, or we're going to be doing investments in terms of blockchain projects, legitimate blockchain companies. So we're going to have a CMF hedge fund, and the money that's going to be raised is going to be, I'm going to be raising that money. So CMF members will have a part of this. Once I do release the hedge fund, you will have a much more clearer idea on it. But what we are going to be doing is, what I'm going to be doing, or we're going to be doing is investing into other companies with a CMF hedge fund. And I'm going to be raising the money, and then later on raising money with VC companies as well. So the CMF is going to become one massive established company over time. And everybody's going to have a share in it. So everybody who's a part of the CMF will have a share of this company, a piece of the pie of this company. And we're going to be investing into blockchain projects, legitimate blockchain projects after heavy research and due diligence. And we're going to be investing into other crypto assets and even precious metals somewhere down the line. If anybody's seen the show if anybody's ever seen the show Billions, similar to Bobby Axelrod's company. So a venture capitalist company and a hedge fund company, also a trading platform. Big things are coming for the CMF. But yeah, I'm going to be raising that money. Good night, Miles. So that's what we're going to be doing in terms of hedge funds. Investing into other projects, legitimate projects, other due diligence, investing into precious metals, and investing into crypto projects as reserve assets. Good night, Miles and family. So that's what we're going to be doing, Shelly. Good night, Miles and family. Brilliant live. Thanks again. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Ian, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. She was also the PD parties. Take it easy, mate. Let's keep it tail. Good night, Miles. Good night, Miles. Thanks for sharing. No problem. See you tomorrow, Bone. Good night, Woodhouse. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. Won't be on the live as always. Be on a flight tomorrow. Woodhouse, no problem. See you, brother. Have a good flight, good day / night to all CMF. Miles, love your work. Big thanks again. Shelly, no problem anytime. Shelly, see you tomorrow same time as usual. Love you too. See you tomorrow same time as usual. If $20 programmable CBDC is programmed for shoes, you can't spend them for anything else, pretty much. Great news for the CMF. Let's go, happy Pisces. Can we contribute towards the hedge fund? You can if you want to, but I'm going to be raising the money either way. Will there be a legal contract within that investment? Yes, it's going to be a blockchain company. Billions, yes. Night. Pablo, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. So yes, if anybody's seen the show Billions, if you haven't, a great TV show by the name of Billions. There's a main character in that TV show called Bobby Axelrod. And you can have a clearer picture of what we're going to be doing for the CMF. Good night, Miles, the CMF. Free forever. See you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. So we have reached the endings of this live show as well. Thank you so much to everybody that's been tuning in every single night from the CMF. And we're going to have sponsors soon as well on this live show. So we're going to have sponsors for the CMF. yeah, we're going to do, because I'm going to be raising money for this whole CMF venture that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be raising money for it. So we're going to have sponsors for it and so on for the CMF live show to get that capital in. Now, we have reached the endings of this live show. Thank you so much to everybody that's been tuning into this live show from every single day. Good night, brother. Bill, see you tomorrow as usual. Miles, I did the XLP. Miles, I did the XLP transfer. Is that what you mean? Can you tell it fast? Any XRP news? Can you tell it fast? Oh, any XRP news? No XRP news today so far. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or good night, depending on where you are around the world. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. CMF, have a great day. I missed the news. Miles, I only had one ad today at the beginning. Shelly, thank you so much for letting me know how many ads you had. It's important for me to know as well how many ads everybody sees. Thank you so much, Shelly, for letting me know that you've only seen one ad, because I want to get a number of how many ads are shown during the live show and so on. So I get a picture of how much we're going to be raising over time. Shelly, thank you so much for letting me know. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Miles, love that hedge fund news update. Fantastic. Let's go through forever. Bye. No ads. Woodhouse, thank you for letting me know as well. I think I had 2. Thank you so much, Denise, for letting me know as well. No ads. Ian, thank you so much for letting me know as well. I will see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. CMF, see you all tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. And also join the Telegram group. If you haven't joined the Telegram group, join Telegram group. Absolutely amazing place to be in, completely free forever. See everybody tomorrow, same time as usual.